Hi, my name is Liz Kern, and this is my artifact box on the ancient Indus River Valley civilization. The first artifact that I chose to use was a map to show location. The map shows the natural borders around the Indus River Valley, and to the west and to the north we have mountain ranges, and to the south we have the Arabian Sea. These natural borders provided protection from disease and attack from other civilizations. Also, the water from the river was used to help fertilize the soil and to provide irrigation for the crops. And close proximity to the river allowed boats to become a viable form of transportation during this time period. In class, I could use this map to have students describe what life was like during this civilization and use the natural features of the land to help them write about it. The second artifact that I chose to use was to describe movement, and that was the early form of boats and the carts that they used that were pulled by bull oxen. These two forms of movement were important to help them trade with other civilizations, especially Mesopotamia. These boats and carts were also their main method of traveling and, like I said, for trade. The third thing that I chose to use were a scale and ruler to help show the region. These tools are used for accurate form of measurement. Measurement was one of the huge parts of their achievement. They had these tools that could accurately measure weight, distance, and time. They were one of the first people to develop a system of measurement. Since they were so good at measurement, they were also able to build great buildings, have straight streets, and line bricks up perfectly to build buildings. And the bricks, I'll talk about in a second, were of the same size and weight. In class, I could have students try to measure something without using a measurement tool, and then have them measure the same item using the measurement tool to see how accurate their measurement was and why it was important to have these tools that were the same each time. The next artifact that I chose to use was a brick. The brick is to show the human-environment interaction. Their buildings were built from dry bricks that were all uniform in size. The bricks were very straight, which made it easier to build sturdy homes. Many of their houses were either 1 or 2 stories tall. They built their homes up on elevated grounds to provide protection from the seasonal floods and the polluted waters. They used these bricks to build homes, like I said, and the reason that it was so important that the bricks were the same size and weight was so that it helped to build sturdier homes during that time period. They also had sophisticated drainage systems that supplied water to their city using wells, and they also had sanitation where the drainage from the dirty water was taken out of the town. So obviously cleanliness was very important to the people of this time. They chose not to build large monuments or other structures. Instead, they used the materials wisely for homes and things that they needed. So there isn't a whole lot of actual artifacts about this ancient Indus River Valley civilization because they didn't build these large things like Egypt that we would have known about. The next artifact that I chose to use is a back to the bricks, sorry. In class, I would use this to have students build a house, and They could build a house with regular bricks or blocks that were square or rectangular, and they could also build a house using something that was non-uniform in size and shape, and to help see the difference between which one would be more sturdy. Then the next artifact that I chose to use was a tiered shelf. This tiered shelf is to show the caste system that they used. It had 4 main classes that you were born into a class and you could never change. At the top of the classes were the priest and the king, and the level below that was the warriors and the aristocrats. Then the third level included the cultivators, the artisans, and the merchants, and the lowest level were the peasants and the serfs. Like I said, these classes could not be changed. You were born into them, so once you were born, that's where you stayed. And in class, I would use these to assign students a level and in the caste system, and then have them do a role-playing experiment or an activity to describe what it would be like to live during that time period and what their life would be like depending on which class they were in. The next artifact that I chose to use was a terracotta pot, and I have a question mark drawn on here. The reason I did that is because the Indus civilization had a writing system, which today still remains a big mystery. All of the attempts to decipher what their writing system means has been failed, and this is one of the reasons that the Indus Valley civilization is one of the least known civilizations. The examples of the writing system have been found on pottery, on amulets, carved stamps, seals, and even in weights and copper tablets. But like I said, none of it has been deciphered to know what it means. And so to use this in the classroom, I would have students create their own language using symbols, and then have like a key or have them also create a key to decipher what it means, just as a fun activity, creating their own language. And I believe that is it. Thank you for viewing my artifact box about the ancient Indus River Valley civilization.